All right,
forefront.
welcome to episode 23. The Michael Jordan number, as Link calls it. Hopefully, this is not the episode where this peaks and is the GOAT one, because we want the peak to be going forward, you know? Uh, so, football, right, guys?
Yep.
Football.
Sport that was
This feels like
played.
the weakest intro we've done so far. I'm gonna be quite candid.
You know what? It
But it's
just
late. It's late. We're tired.
it
The
reflects what
Bulls lost. The Cowboys lost. The Blackhawks lost. I mean, no one's really in a great mood.
Yeah,
No one's elated right
I
now.
think that intro reflects what football has done to me this past weekend. It's Friday and I'm not over it, but we're gonna talk about the wild card games in order. Jesus Christ!
Mhm.
So let's begin with you, Steven, and you were in attendance for this game, so I'll let you take this one away. The Bengals against Raider Nation.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to go see this game because I'm a huge sucker for teams like Cincy who just got those stacked offenses, getting to see Jamar and Burrow and Mixon. Actually, for the second time this year, I saw them play the Bears when the Bears beat them. I forgot, it was like week 3 or
Week
week 4, I
two,
think.
week two. I
Week 2 was it?
remember.
Oh, was it week 2? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Jesus. Yeah, so I saw them for the first time, but seeing them in Cincy, different experience. It was very cold there, as I'm sure. Yeah, that was obvious. So bundled up pretty well. But I mean, it was great. You know, I mean, really good atmosphere. It was like 66,000 people there, I think. And it was for the first half, it was a little bit of a it was a bit of a middling game. You know, there was some momentum either way. But even though the Bengals had the lead secure for I think the entire or if not the entire half, it really felt like the momentum was like it wasn't like out of reach for the Raiders. All they needed was just a more confident drive, and they'd be able to help even it out. And that's really what they did towards the end. There was they had a chance to. I think they had a chance to at least tie. And then obviously we know what resulted then when they were in the red zone. That last minute or so. But I mean, overall, it was a great game. It was so exciting to see Burrow. It was so exciting to see Chase. Um, even though Mixon and T Higgins were kind of out of commission for most of it. It was a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, not much more I can say about it. Great game from their tight end. I just forgot his name completely. I'm gonna be quite candid. That was what I was
CJ
kind of pausing
Uzuma.
for a second. Yeah. Great game from him. He was all over the place. He was making a lot of good catches. He was really secure
Jamar
weapon for
Chase
them.
was insane that game though. Like holy.
He really was. Yeah, I mean no, to the surprise of no one, of course. But I mean, yeah, no, he's proven everyone what a talent he is. I mean, watch him in person. It's really special. You can tell. It's just him and Burrow. Like there's a connection. There's just a connection there that's just not quantifiable. I mean, it's just that special,
Yeah.
and you could really tell. It's rare to see. Very rare.
Yeah. I bet Link is looking forward to seeing those Bengals come to Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, more on that in a little bit. But I mean, hey, the Raiders for what they had, I mean, for what's been going on, they did put up a pretty good fight for what it's worth. And you know what? They almost got it. They almost came back and would have tied the game up. However, Derek Carr just I think I haven't looked back at it yet, but I'm pretty sure it was a tipped pass by
I thought it was
I
a
think
tip.
it
I
was
think it was a
tipped
tip
for an
pass. Yeah.
interception, but the one that was more
Yeah.
baffling
Yeah.
was the third. It was the previous player. I think he had kind of Waller open and didn't
yes.
go to him. But yeah,
hmm Renfro also basically kept him in the game like that entire second half.
yeah, that was
He
insane.
was insane. Yeah, and Saul, you were talking about that too. You were talking about him as I don't know if you said this directly, but I was kind of inferring you were calling him the X factor in the matchup.
Maybe I think I could have. I don't particularly remember that. But speaking of insane, Josh Allen. The Bills went on to have the first perfect offensive game in NFL history. And Josh Allen hung his nuts on the Patriots at home.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Demoralized them.
dude, they
Man,
scored.
I feel bad for picking New England in this game. Like,
No,
geez.
dude, thank the Lord you guys we only showed our wild card picks and our Super Bowl predictions because I had the Patriots going all the way to the conference championship.
Holy shit!
Overall, I
Yeah,
went
so
3
it
for 3, and like
wasn't great.
overall, I went 3 for 3 on the weekend. But this is like my biggest regret from all the games. Like,
Yeah,
Christ, I
dude.
mean, I can't really say that like, you know, I expected this. I didn't really expect Buffalo to have the most perfect game, and like you said, it was the first perfect performance. And what was it? Not only playoff history, but NFL history.
Yeah,
They didn't
on
punt.
offense. Yeah, every drive was a touchdown until the kneel down, basically.
It was literally the exact
They
opposite
should
of
have
the
had
previous
Money
game against
Mitch
New England at
test the
home.
deep ball. Hate to interrupt, but they should have. They needed it.
Yeah,
Let him rocket fire.
dude, this is just like, it's insane what they did. I mean, just an awesome game from Josh Allen. I mean, that's just a once in a lifetime performance, and I really mean that, once in a lifetime. I mean,
Yeah,
Josh
it
Allen
was
when he's
special.
on is fucking scary, man. And I mean, some props to the Bills defense as well. I mean, that really awesome interception. I think it was like Micah Hyde, right? That on New England's first drive, Mac Jones looking to get a
I remember.
touchdown, and Hyde just saved it. Not only saved it, but got the ball to Buffalo, and obviously, the game would just not be a contest from there. The Bills just absolutely hammered the Patriots, and that's what happened. That's really all we can say about that game. Like we cannot really give it enough justice just by saying anything else than Josh Allen.
It was such a good game that I honestly feel like it single handedly flipped the Brian Dabble discourse.
It did. It did. It's actually kind of insane. This man's gonna get a head coaching job now.
I
There,
know, and people are going to be extremely excited about it.
yeah. And then, well, I guess now we go to Sunday morning. Well, in Pacific, it was Sunday morning, where Tampa Bay, they had their first playoff home game since I think 2008, and what
Since
a
the Super Bowl, don't you mean?
no, because the I think they were technically the away team. Even if they weren't, it's like quote unquote a neutral site game, and they don't have all the perks of being the home team other than just being familiar with the field. Which
Yeah, but
um
you know,
point is right is that the Buccaneers, it was their first true playoff home game with that true home atmosphere. Because let's be honest, Super Bowl atmosphere is so many like corporate seats and like a lot of people that are gonna be neutral fans or away fans showing up. This is like a true, like tried and true, playoff home game, and they absolutely gave it to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts had an awful game. People are gonna come into question whether he'll be there next year, which I think he probably will, but.
I think it certainly will. I mean, I'm not saying that this game did him any favors, but I don't really
Yeah,
think it did him any disservice either.
and I mean, the Buccaneers, they just hammered it with all their injuries. I mean, Tristan Wirfs got hurt during the game, but it's expected he should be back for next week. But Ryan Jensen as well. But still, Tampa Bay absolutely dominated. And of course, who else but the best run defense in the league, I believe, to go against Philadelphia and absolutely hammer them. I mean, just an awesome performance for the Buccaneers. Tom Brady did the job, but he really didn't have to do much at all. And even with that, he was still effective and got his team the win.
And a limited receiver core.
Yeah, he got his team the win, and so did that defense. I mean, just some really good performances there by the usual suspects. And yeah, uh,
I honestly, this is the only game I missed on Wild Card Weekend. I didn't get up in time, but honestly, if there was
Yeah,
a game to
I didn't
miss,
really watch much of it
if there was a
either, but
game to miss though, like this would be the one because it was just one of the more one-sided games of the weekend. Then again, most Wild Card games this weekend were very one-sided.
this was a one-sided result, but it was probably the most predictable of them all.
Yeah,
yeah. even even Bill's Pats, that was just exhilarating just to see that offense in motion. This was everyone expected the Bucs to stamp them out.
Yeah, exactly. And then, oh no.
Moving on to the more exciting game of Wild Card Weekend shouldn't have been as exciting as it was. It was Niners Cowboys.
Oh no.
Salt's gonna give us some.
I actually didn't watch much of this game. I'm gonna be honest. I caught some of it towards the beginning and at the end, but I'm sorry, Salt.
Like most sane people, I watched this on Nickelodeon.
That was the most embarrassing, humiliating, and just self-destructive game that I have ever seen on the Cowboys, man. That game was that was a war crime on national television. And oh my god, man, I genuinely hate Kellen Moore. I hate Kellen Moore. I hate Kellen Moore. I hate Kellen Moore. I hate Kellen Moore, and I hate Mike McCarthy.
I want to just interrupt for a second, Sal, before you just dive right into this. It's kind of the antithesis of the dabble of what we were talking about with dabble. I feel like the discourse on Kellen Moore also flipped, but just in a completely negative way.
Yeah, him and Mike McCarthy gotta go. And Kellen Moore can go coach the Vikings or something. He can go do that, have fun. McCarthy gotta go to McDonald's. Gotta go to McDonald's. He looks.
He already
perfect.
goes there, buddy.
He looks perfect. I was about to say he looks perfect for the part too. We're about to lose Dan Quinn, and that's gonna make me sad.
For all the Cowboys did with that coaching staff, or just trying to bulk up the team, it really is surprising that they went for McCarthy to be the guy to lead the team.
Yeah, and the things I would do to go back in time and make Matt LaFleur this team's head coach.
Oh my gosh, that would be insane.
That would be pretty nasty. But anyways, I just absolutely that was embarrassing. I mean, first the offense was dead in that first half, but in that awesome Dak touchdown drive to Amari Cooper, and even then there were some moments of White that just got destroyed by penalties. This offensive line has no discipline. The defensive line has no discipline. Surprisingly, it wasn't really the PI calls that killed us. We just neutral zone infractions, man. Jesus Christ. And then it was just there was one PI call that was really that pissed me off, but it was mainly defensive line neutral zone stuff that was super annoying.
I mean, this isn't the only game the Cowboys got bitten by too many penalties. I mean, we all remember what happened on the most recent example I can think of is the Raiders game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was kind of a similar case here, but I noticed a lot the 49ers pass rush were they destroyed y'all.
Yeah, our offensive line just got murked. It needs a remodeling because that was awful. I mean, Dak Prescott did not play well. And I mean, you look at him he had a great first half of the season, but he just wasn't the same after the calf injury. I mean, he had those high moments against Atlanta and against Washington, but he was not himself. He was overthinking. He was, I don't know. He seems too afraid to take off and run, and I don't like that because he needs to be more willing to take off and run. And I just don't know what's up with him, and the scheming is awful. I mean, we have CeeDee Lamb 1-on-1. Why not throw to him? Why are we overcomplicating this? Why are we going to Wilson so much? Why are we going to Schultz so much? I don't get it. Trust your playmakers to make plays, Kellen Moore. You ain't doing that. And then, I mean, there's just so much that went wrong. We just couldn't stop their offense in the first half. I mean, Diggs had a pretty bad game. I cannot lie.
Golly.
I mean, they were getting
Dude,
away.
I defeated so many Diggs arguments with some of my IRL football guys. Just the amount of slander I had to just try to contain was, oh man, it was overpowering.
I mean, And then you look at like they were holding the hell out of Micah Parsons, man, and that pissed me the hell off. I mean, you look at like, I mean, we were just destroying ourselves, and then eventually we got back in it. That Anthony Brown interception, Dak gets a touchdown. We're gonna get a stop eventually, and we have time, get a drive. Oh my God, that drive, man! Those turnover on 4 downs. I forget what happened. There's a declined penalty at one point, but it was like Dak Prescott should have taken off on, I think, first down. He didn't. He throws it. It's not caught. And I was like, come on, dude, you got to run for it and pick up some yards, because I think he had a pretty clear road to get close to first down at worst. Second down, I think he throws it to the CD Lamb, who just doesn't get it. I think it's third. He throws it to Elliott, who doesn't get it. It was interchangeable between the two. And they had good. I mean, and they just both of them dropped it there, and that really was infuriating. And then fourth down. Oh my God, under pressure makes the throw. Cedric Wilson. I don't care that it's not the best throw. He's being tackled as he's making it. Wilson's in position. He can't hold on to it, and because of that, turnover on downs. We get to 3rd and 5. Randy Gregory. We're in the 2-minute warning, and then he gets maybe it's not that, but he gives him a first down off a neutral zone infraction, which was a story of the game. We eventually get the stop on downs. They try to QB sneak. They get a false start, so they have to punt. We're driving down the field. I'm just holding out for that last bit of hope, and the play that everyone will remember. Oh my God, the QB draw. What are we doing? That was just all. If you're gonna QB draw, I feel like you gotta at least have Dak throw a lateral out of bounds or some shit like that.
Yeah. And it's weird too, because for y'all, in my opinion, if he had a bit more time and he didn't do that, y'all would have scored a touchdown. Because for some reason, during those last 5 minutes, I noticed how bad the coaching got between both teams, and they tried to give each other the win there. But why weren't they covering the out of bounds areas if they're trying to stop the clock? I don't get that.
Yeah, and they finally did, and within the 14, but that was just stupid. And I don't know. I feel like if you gotta do a play like that, why are you not gonna try to go for an out of bounds lateral? I feel like that's perfectly legal. I think you might lose some yards, but you got more yards than you're gonna lose. So I don't know. That was just that was a stupid, I don't know, decision. I think Kellen Moore called the play. McCarthy approved it. It's out. And also, people were going to complain about the official, and I have one agreement there. The official did not show any hustle getting to the line. Okay, the interference wasn't the worst part. No, that's fine. He has to set the ball. I get it. That's Dak's fault for not adhering to that. But the official did not show proper hustle to get to the line, which is extremely annoying. You have to.
I noticed that too. I would have been so infuriated if I was watching that, but I mean, it's just it's the least of my concerns at that point, really.
But
it's the nail in the coffin, I guess.
We beat ourselves in that game. I mean, that's just really what happened. That was super frustrating. We just beat ourselves. We were awful. We did not deserve to win the game, but it's certainly annoying that we got that close to that taste of victory and lost it. Because we really should have. We should have taken advantage there. We just dropped the ball so many times. I mean, and our defense was holding after. I feel like if we get a touchdown, either drain their timeouts or, give them no clock time, even with them, we could have kept them out of field goal range. But here we are. We're eliminated, and it fucking sucks because we had so many opportunities to do things that we just wiped ourselves out of, from drops or bad play calls or just penalties. It was awful, and this team needs to remodel certain parts. I think it needs to remodel its defense to a certain extent. Not too crazy. I think it needs to remodel its O-line. I think there are guys that you got to start thinking about trading away, like Leo Collins. But that was an awful performance, and as for the Niners, They are so fucking lucky to still come out with their lives. Because another Kyle Shanahan collapse would have been beautiful.
It almost happened. Like, I feel like this was definitely Dallas's game to win, especially those last 5 minutes. But, you know, it is what it is. Your thoughts on Dak winning MVP?
I don't care. That award is Mitch's award. That's how I view it.
Fair enough. All right, you want to, like, not be depressed anymore and talk about a game that was, well, equally as depressing for another large fan base?
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna need one of you guys to take that one away because I cannot bear to keep watching football that night.
Link,
Fair enough.
you take it. I'll jump in.
So the next game up was Pittsburgh, Kansas City, a game that only is even a thing because the 7th seed exists. And boy, was it so! If this was like, it's so funny how both Pennsylvania-based teams not only were both the 7th seed, but both just got absolutely destroyed on national television in their games. And you know what? What a way to go out for Ben Roethlisberger. 29 for 44, 215 yards. He almost got 3 touchdowns, but he only stuck to 2. However, the Chiefs just absolutely ran them over on offense. I mean, this was definitely Mahomes' game to win. I mean, this offense is back alive. I mean, I remember watching the game against Tennessee, and their offense was so dead in the water. And now, you see this, and it's like, wow, it's pretty
Yeah,
impressive. Hey,
total game changer.
like even Travis Kelce, he even got himself a passing touchdown. Very nice.
I mean, it went about as well as you'd expect for the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the 2 seed in the AFC in a playoff game. They did the what was it, the fake reverse handoff or something. They had that one play that was like, so it was, God, I don't even know what I called it then. I was just watching and I was in awe. I mean, really, it was incredible how they made some of those plays. Like, it was just, it was I'd say for the first 3 minutes of the game, some people were optimistic that they'd be able to make it close. 3 minutes, I think I gave him about 3 minutes, and then everyone realized that, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? Pittsburgh did at least TJ Watt did. He had himself a solid game for him. But other than that,
he was good.
This was expected. Nothing really to comment about other than the fact that it is now known that the 7th seed in the NFL playoffs, ever since they were created last year, the 7th seed is now 0-4 in wildcard weekend. So, good job, NFL. This is a really great idea to get more teams in, just to have them get blown out. Only one of the games that involved the 7th seed was even by 1 score, and that was last year when Indianapolis had that close game against Buffalo. They almost had that comeback against them.
I think that the AFC 7 seed probably one year could have a chance at getting a victory over a 2, but in the NFC, I don't think that's going to be the case. Just looking at the way the 2 conferences are.
Yeah, like I think you look at I think if Los Angeles beat the 7th seed, they tied. So I would have definitely thought they would put up a better fight against Kansas City than what Pittsburgh did.
I think the Raiders would have actually been the 7th seed.
It was? Well, even then. I don't know. Well, Big Ben's now retired. Congratulations. You've had one great career. Respecter of women, champion of women's rights. Go retire now to I don't know where he's retiring off to, but hopefully somewhere nice for him and his children and wife to live happily ever after and not bring up any of his past shenanigans.
Story time with Link.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was the Pittsburgh game.
Now, Monday Night Football. To be honest, also did not watch it.
Dude, no. I was telling everyone going into this. I told you guys the Rams were gonna win this one. Like, it was such an obvious Rams victory because, first of all, you got Sean McVay going up against Cliff Kingsbury. No offense to Cliff Kingsbury, but I mean, it's just when you compare the experience of these two, it's just not even.
I think Cardinals fans would actually want you to mean all due offense to Cliff Kingsbury.
All right. Well, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers here. I'm just trying to.
I know. I'm just
trying to
pointing that out.
I'm just taking my victory lap here. But yeah, no, I get what you mean, Salt. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I can't say I disagree with you on that there. And they're playing at basically the Roman Coliseum. Call it SoFi, whatever you want. I'm calling it the Roman Coliseum. For the first playoff game for the Rams. And I know everyone was like, "Oh yeah, well Stafford had a bad week 17." I mean, I don't really care, honestly. I saw as long as I saw him having a competent game, and I saw the Rams having two major advantages over this team, which, mind you, has very limited, if any, playoff experience really across the board. I mean, with some guys obviously, but it really showed too. There was just I honestly I kind of want to give it more to the skill of the Rams. If anything, I think there was a lot of play. I think there was a lot of pressure on Kyler, and I think he did a decent job kind of avoiding or just being able to kind of swerve against those pitfalls. But even then, like that pick six on like the 5-yard line or something, that was an unbelievable play by their defense. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they had so many of those. Really, Donald was the star of the show. Donald obviously star of the show, but really it was a super team effort on defense, and then the offense was clicking per usual. So I mean, Cardinals really didn't stand much of a chance.
Yeah. It was a demolition, and Kyler just not there, and they've been off really the last month, except for that time they beat Dallas. Haha.
For a team that started.
What a quiet liner.
They started, 8-0.
I think it was 7-0.
Yeah,
7-0.
It's no doubt they're a talented team. It's one of those situations where you just start off so unbelievably hot that you just end up cooling off, and then momentum just kind of sticks into the playoffs, and that you kind of hate to see that, because it really felt like if this team it was in the reverse situation, they could have given a better fight than they did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This felt kind of like it was coming even without the details of the matchup itself.
Yeah. So, like I said
know
before, the Rams, they justified their NFC West title with that victory.
Yeah.
Right now, the Cardinals are wondering what to do with Cliff Kingsbury. I know I've heard something that I know ownership is very disappointed. I mean, I would be too. But I don't know if they're actually. Remember going into this season. Cliff was on the hot seat. They needed a good performance. This was going to be a make or break year. But I don't know if they're going to really see if they're going to prefer how he did the first half or the second half. I know definitely going to see the second half evaluation and really make up their mind there if they want to continue on. But I don't know. He may be out of a job just depending on if they're going to actually do it or not.
Yeah. It's just insane. But yeah, I think that for Cliff, I think that Cliff and their general manager, Kime, I think they both probably should be sent out regardless of the accomplishments of this year, because their shortcomings have cost them being even better. Kyler Murray being this good is why they're here, and you can't really attribute it to all that much outside of Kyler Murray. And
yeah. I kind of feel like it's one of those things, though, that they're just going to they're just going to stick. I don't know. I think Kingsbury has been on the semi-hot seat, has been on the lukewarm seat for a little while now, but I don't know. I don't really see that much turnover coming with this team. I think they're going to try to play it out a little bit longer.
Yeah, I could very much see that, but
They may go for clean. I don't know if they may. Apparently, more recently, Vance Joseph, who's their defense coordinator, he took an interview with Miami today, or whenever that interview took place. So they may lose him.
I find it ridiculous that Vance Joseph is getting head coaching offers again. Like, did you not see his spell at Denver? That was awful. And
Fair
it wasn't
enough.
like
I'm telling you, Salt. The recent I'm telling you, the memory of NFL of just coaches and coordinators. You can be the worst guy in the world. You have a good stint somewhere, you're gonna get interviews. Like I said that I don't want to diverge too much, but I said this last week when we were talking about the head coach firing. That even if Matt Nagy goes somewhere as the coordinator, as offensive coordinator, and they put together a successful string of offense, he's going to get head coach offers again. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
The only thing about Cliff though is it's going to be hard for anyone. I mean, think about it. I mean, he runs the air raid offense. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be able to immediately get a job somewhere.
He would go
considering,
back to college
they have to
football
adjust.
probably.
Yeah, that's where I would go. I mean, hey, Texas Tech just fired their coach this year. They may go back there. I don't think they found a replacement yet, so that may be a possibility.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of, I don't know if I commented on it last year. Thoughts on Jim Harbaugh apparently maybe taking an offer in the NFL somewhere if the money talks.
I think he's just using it as leverage, honestly.
Yeah, I think he'll stay in Michigan ultimately.
I mean,
I think it's just one of those things where you're seeing which opportunities you're seeing what your opportunities are, but ultimately, I think his heart's still at Michigan, and I think he's really just trying to use this to sneak some extra money out of him or sneak some more control.
Yeah.
Or
more
whatever.
money. He's the highest paid coach in college football. I don't think he needs more money.
Well, I think the thing is
saying, you want to be worth as much.
I think Harbaugh's current contract is very incentive based and he has a very cheap buyout, and so off the season that he's having, he may want to raise the price of his buyout and have a higher base salary.
We will. If something I hear Oakland, but I don't think it's or not Las Vegas.
It's going to be a fun discussion when we get more into the head coach stuff, like later this offseason, I'd say.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess is there any other more thoughts on Wild Card Weekend and all the great games, which 2 of them were competitive and 4 of them were blowouts?
Nope, I do not think
Not for me.
Dallas Cowboys are probably screwed.
All right. I guess we can move on to the divisional round matchups.
All right, Link. Let's let you talk about yours first.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering it is the first game chronologically. 3:30 Titans Bengals. This is a game that I watched the evening news today, and that's where they had their stations had their newscast right outside Nissan Stadium. There's a lot of hype around town about this. This is the first Titans true home playoff game since 2008. I know last year we had a home playoff game, but yeah. Lots of hype. We're trying to get our first home playoff win since 2002 from that infamous game against Pittsburgh and that where we had the roughing the kicker call late in the overtime. No Pittsburgh fans were really happy about that. But going up against the Bengals, this should be it's weird to me how Cincinnati and Tennessee are very close to each other. I think they're only 3 hours. I think Nashville's a lot more closer to Cincinnati than Indianapolis, and I think Cincinnati is the closest franchise other than Atlanta to Nashville. So it's kind of weird how we don't play each other as often as we do. But last time we played the Bengals, we got beat convincingly.
Yeah.
And that was a team that was without Chase. That was a team that.
But you guys were without Henry too, right?
No, not last year.
Oh wait, you're talking about you're talking about last year. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But
my bad.
You know, speaking of, Titans activated him today. He's going to be I guess he's going to be starting at running back this game against Cincinnati. Good to see him back. I know Titans fans really like to see him back. But if we lose this game, that means it's going to be a harder fall because that puts more expectations on us, and you know how that is. But Cincinnati, they played a very good game against Denver. I mean, not Denver, Las Vegas. This is a very high-powered offense. Joe Burrow, you got Joe Mixon and Chase. Almost kind of I will say it looks like a better situation. I mean, the Titans also have kind of a combination of an elite passer. Well, not really elite, but we have Ryan Tannehill. He's just kind of there. Well, we have Henry, who's also coming off injury, and A.J. Brown. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup in that case, but I don't know. I'm mostly kind of nervous about this game because the fact the Titans, like I've said before, have not had a home playoff victory since 2002. By the way, that was the year I was born, so it's kind of baffling to see that.
Yeah.
And we're playing a Cincinnati team
Link's the curse of the Titans.
Well, a lot of people say I was a curse since I was born. But anyway,
don't worry, Link. We're breaking it. We're breaking it this weekend.
Yep.
Or tomorrow, rather.
But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about the game. Good thing about this week, though, we're more healthy. We only got 3 guys on IR, which is better than what happened during the middle of the season.
having to play 90 players this year.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Dude, that New England game still. How the hell were you still in that one?
I know.
Mike Vrabel's a beast. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, I hope he wins Coach of the Year.
Indeed.
He's gotta.
Yeah.
But I guess that's all I gotta say for Bengals Titans in terms of what I've the preview going into it. I don't know if I have any more to say.
And now on the other side of the AFC bracket, we got some fireworks. Mahomes versus Allen the rematch.
This was what a lot of people thought would be the AFC Championship.
Yeah, but looks like Christmas came early. Allen is the hot hand, but Mahomes certainly is still Patrick Mahomes, and we're in for a shootout. Hopefully. If we get a defensive battle in this game, I'm going to be so disappointed.
This game is really just impossible to predict, honestly, because you got a lot of momentum going with the Bills, with obviously coming off that victory against the Pats, and just some great coaching, great play on the offense. Then you got the Chiefs, who are coming off a great victory against the Steelers with great coaching and great offense, et cetera, et cetera. And you got these two teams who are pretty evenly matched. I'd say the Chiefs are better, but they've got pretty similar strengths. They don't really have any severe weaknesses that would knock them out of the playoffs, other than facing better competition, really. So it's hard to say that there's something that's going to be the tipping point. Honestly, even home field advantage, I don't even know if it's going to play a significant factor in this one. Obviously, it doesn't any game, but it's hard for me to find a tipping point with this one here.
Yeah.
It really feels like it could go either way. Like going other way, we're looking at like a 40 point to 40 point contest here. Ideally. Yeah. That would just make the playoffs right there.
Pretty much. We're looking for, a good one. These defenses have their quality and merits to it. The Bills, they're missing Tre'Davious White, but still a well put together defense with a lot of great pieces on it. And on the Chiefs side, they have their quality. Chris Jones on the inside, and just it's been a hot defense after that really turbulent, difficult start that's really helped them out. And so there's potential for this game to not be the highest scoring affair that we expect, but hopefully it will be that. This will be an interesting one. I am looking forward to seeing Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes going at it once again for Another chapter in a what feels like could be a budding rivalry between the two teams. I guess we can move on now to the NFC, where the number 1 seeded Green Bay Packers take on the 49ers. And let me just tell you, I do not think that game will be close. I don't know who's going to win it, but I don't think it'll be close.
That's an interesting take.
I do not have the feel. I have the feeling that either the Packers are going to just hit the brake, like they are just going to destroy San Francisco at home. It won't be a close one. Maybe the Niners can make it 2 possessions rather than like a tried and true blowout. Same with the vice versa. Maybe the Niners are just going to blow the smokes off of them. 2 possessions, but it really feels like more. I just don't see this game being the type of game that comes down to the wire and we're going to have some exciting, thrilling matchup. I think either the Niners are just going to pummel Green Bay or the Packers are going to pummel the Niners. I don't know what will happen. Jimmy Garoppolo is a little banged up. The Niners are going to get Bosa and Warner back, though, who both got hurt during the course of the Dallas game. And, I mean, the Packers, they're going to be missing some pieces, but they're going to have Zadarius Smith back. I think we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting affair. In the
I know the
regard of,
Packers are I know they're sorry to cut you out, so cut you off while you're hot. But I know they're kind of nurturing some guys back. But I don't know. I might be underplaying the significance of their IR clearing up. But I don't know. Just to me, I'm not seeing it as an X factor in this matchup. It's just the Packers just navigated their season without Bakhtari, without Jair Alexander, without Zadarius Smith. I mean, these are 3 really good players if you're looking at their best. And they still were able to replace them, relatively well. I mean, Stokes had a really good rookie season. Rashad Gary was great. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Elton Jenkins is a solid tackle. I mean, they're able to replenish their talent so well. It's almost like I don't even know if it's going to the margin of them coming back is going to be that significant, or their IR clearing up is really going to be that significant. Like unlike Henry coming back to the Titans, which is going to unlock so many more plays against the hot Bengals team. The Packers really they've adjusted really well. They got a lot of great talent evaluators. They have a really good coaching staff. And I mean, I don't know. It's just it's not. It doesn't play as much of a factor for me. I get the excitement with them coming back for playoff time, but it's just for me, I'm not seeing it as a make or break with this match specifically.
Yeah.
I just felt the need to say that right now because I know that's kind of a little bit of a mini headline story going into this.
I'm interested to see ultimately what is going to prevail. Whether it'll be Matt LaFleur scheming against that really good Niners defense, or whether Kyle Shanahan and against the Packers, who they're a very good pass defense. They struggle against the run. If Kyle Shanahan can send Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel to impose their will on Green Bay, there, I mean, it's for sure an interesting one. And honestly, I kind of trust the Niners here. I think if you're capable of making Dallas's offense look as bad as it did, and made I saw a lot of it from Dallas was self-inflicted. You are extremely capable of going into Green Bay and winning.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Link, any thoughts on this particular matchup?
Well, you know how the Green Bay Packers are at home in Lambeau. It's gonna be cold as I don't know what.
I think
The
it's gonna be like 10
Niners.
degrees.
I will say the Niners did play a good game against Dallas. They definitely played. It feels like with their backs against the wall when it came to the expectations. But that finish, man, and how Shanahan almost almost gave up that game. That has me kind of worried about the Niners going into this game because Green Bay doesn't screw around when you only play 3 quarters. They will come back and bite you in the 4th. So I think that's going to be a real key factor in that game.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing for sure. I guess we'll move on to the last one. We got the Buccaneers against the Rams. It's not like it should have been us, but Yeah. I mean, the Rams absolutely pummeled the Buccaneers earlier in the year, but I mean, both teams are different for better or worse. Gone is Robert Woods and Deshaun Jackson, and is Odell Beckham Jr. Gone is Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown. The firepower isn't exactly the firepower that we saw before. Now, obviously, with the Rams, it had its losses and it had its gains. I mean, Robert Woods is an awful loss, but getting Odell is a very timely, return. And Deshaun Jackson, his role was limited, but the Buccaneers, I mean, AB and Godwin being down are the biggest, losses there. Jalen Ramsey can really put that, you can really put Ramsey on and have him give Mike Evans a hard time and have the Buccaneers have to put faith in Brady getting the ball out into some of the other receivers looking to prove themselves. And I mean, how will the defenses hold up? I mean, well, that's an interesting matchup. I mean, the Rams defense played excellently against the Buccaneers, but it's Tom Brady. It's gonna be an interesting one. What do you guys kind of think like with this?
The difference between this one and the match earlier this year is this is now Tampa's got the home turf, so it's not in SoFi anymore. And honestly, with the Rams, any matchup against the Rams, you're looking at home field as the biggest separator, and especially against the Buccaneers, given the fact that they actually have history. I'm definitely I'm definitely honing in on that being one of the X factors here. Obviously, both of them accustomed to the conditions they're going to see, so nothing really there like with the Packers and Niners, or unlike with Packers and Niners. But yeah, that's kind of my big thing here is while I do think that like you have to be cautious because the Rams really gave them a fight earlier this year, and I remember that was like one of our big ticket matchups, and we were debating over it fiercely. But here, I mean, the sides are kind of flipped a little bit. They're still kind of an even teams. I'd say they both got coaches with a lot of playoff experience. They both got players with a lot of playoff experience, although not Matthew Stafford. But I don't want to get trapped. I don't want to hate Stafford too much. I'll leave that to the experts. But yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for. I'm just kind of seeing that as the big difference here, and yeah, like I said, especially with the Rams, it's a team where the home field is just the world and more. So that's my kind of big thing with this game. One thing I'm looking out for.
Yeah.
I can definitely see the Bucs game plan, especially on the defense, is to definitely disconnect Stafford and Kupp from making plays to each other. Definitely can see that. I can see LA trying to contain, definitely trying to contain Brady here. I feel like this is an opposite battle between like what we were talking about earlier, the high scoring game against the Bills and Chiefs. We got two very high speed offenses. These two teams play not a lot slower, but they do play slower football, more conservative. I think it's going to be a great quarterback duel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it. I mean, there's just a lot of variance of what can happen. I can see either team really blow the smokes out of the other team, but I could see this being close down the wire. Excellent coaches going at it, excellent players going at it. I mean, anything can happen now that Stafford has broken the narratives. So I guess now it's prediction time, right?
Yippee!
Yippee!
Most
Kaye.
wonderful time of the
I'll
year.
try to do better. I went 3-3 last week, so try to improve that this week.
All right.
What did I go? I gotta check real quick. You guys jump into it. I'll see.
Yeah.
I think I lost 2 games, so that would be like 4-2.
I think I went 4-2.
Yeah.
I think I went 4-2.
All right. Titans versus Bengals. Who's the prediction favoring here? Who are we picking?
Well, I think it's going to be Tennessee. Just think.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Yeah, give me a really conservative Bengals on this one. This is a real tough one because this is like both it's two teams you could easily see being knocked out in an upset, playing each other. So matchups like that are tricky, and
Yeah,
obviously both very talented. I don't know. I feel like the Bengals are going to be riding some momentum here, and I really like the Titans. I really like Vrabel. I really like their guys coming back. I don't know if it's just I just have this bad feeling it's going to be too late for them.
yeah, I'm gonna roll with. I think both have some very good rosters. I think, though, I mean they very improved defenses too. But I'm gonna roll with the quarterback that I trust more in the matchup, and that's gonna be Joe Burrow.
I respect that.
I respect that.
Yeah. Next matchup, Chiefs and Bills. Who's the pick here?
You know, this is the one I'd say is my most biased. I want to go with the Bills again, riding the momentum here, but man, their coaching really is taking steps in the right direction in the playoffs, and this does feel like a team who can kind of be like the Bucks were last year, and really just take a lot of people by surprise. And in retrospect, you look back on it, and you're like, oh yeah, that could have happened. But I mean, it feels like it's in the cards for the Bills, or it feels like something's sizzling there. And I do kind of want to. I kind of want to pull back the curtain a little bit and see if it goes anywhere. So I'm gonna stick with them and see how it goes. But yeah, again, a very interesting one for sure. I'm definitely can see really good arguments either way.
Yeah.
You know what? I also see Buffalo winning this. I mean, I think especially since like last year. I remember the AFC Championship game last year. It wasn't. I mean, my memory may be a little fuzzy, but I remember that was a somewhat close game. But I feel like if there's a team to beat Kansas City and Arrowhead, I think it's Buffalo. I think they have the tools. They have Allen, who I think he's going to come off. I mean, he came off one of his best games he's ever had as a quarterback in probably all three levels of football. So I think he's going to, ride that momentum. I think Buffalo's going to win. Definitely going to be high scoring. May actually be by touchdown, but it's going to be entertaining, nonetheless.
I'm gonna go with the not sexy pick. Surprisingly, Kansas City. I just think that it's gonna come down to it. I like that Buffalo does match up against Kansas City much better than they did last year. Their offense is much more spread out than it was. It's not as reliant on Diggs on getting the ball to Diggs as it was before. Much better diversity with their weapons, but I think Kansas City they're gonna find a way. Patrick Mahomes will find a way, and he's gonna get that team. I'm gonna stick, with my idea of them going to the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna bet against them. I think they're gonna get their victory here.
I did say the Chiefs were going to the Super Bowl. I just realized that now, but I'm not going back on it. I'm sealing my fate right here.
All right. And now in the NFC, the Niners and the Packers. I kind of alluded to it, but yeah, I'm taking the 49ers. I think they're gonna get the upset.
I'm taking Green Bay. I don't think it's going to be particularly close.
I think it's going to be
There's just so much going in Green Bay's favor for this matchup. I think that like if you compared them and Dallas, who are both probably like you look at points for and against, probably two of the top juggernauts of the NFL. I think Green Bay has got the better coaching, better experience. They're kind of the total package. And like I said, even with their injuries, it's not really taking me out of it for them. It's not really making me even a lot more confident in the roster, but it's not. But conversely, it's not taking me out of it. So they're used to the Lambeau weather. Niners are going to be kind of fish out of water a little bit there, and Lambeau crowds can get pretty wild in the playoffs. I don't know. It's just shaping up to be a big Green Bay win for me. But Salt, you were right last week. I'll eat crow again gladly. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I just got to go with the Packers here. I just hate to say it. I really want to just be biased and go against them, but I just don't want to be that disingenuous.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see what happens.
Link, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking. I also said Green Bay. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's probably going to be about a 2-score game. So
Yeah. It'll be an interesting one. I don't think this game is gonna end in a one score. That's for sure. Um, But yeah, I think I think the Niners. I agree that Green Bay is more well coached and may not fall into the traps Dallas does, and that really plays in their favor. But I don't know, man. The Niners really
No,
do.
you have a really good argument with the run game. So
That run game can really
I'm
help. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so
Next up,
I'm what?
Tampa and the Rams. I assume, Steven, that both of us are gonna pick our Super Bowl picks to win this game, right? You're gonna you're
You
gonna
know,
you're gonna ride with the Rams.
yeah.
I'm gonna ride with the Bucks.
Oh my gosh, this is so tricky. This is so tricky.
Because I'm gonna ride with the Bucks
Um,
still. I don't know if you're gonna stick to the guns from before.
yeah, I think I had the Rams beating them.
Yeah, you had the
Yeah,
Rams going in the Super
I
Bowl.
I did have the Rams going to the Super Bowl. Gosh, it is just very, very tricky. This is a Link. You go first. Come back to me a little bit. I gotta formulate an argument here. So you kind of took me off my you kind of took me off my stance a little bit there. But Link, you what do you got?
Yeah, I have Tampa winning this.
Interesting.
Good, good
So,
arguments.
so like
Good
Steven,
enough.
is this gonna be our first unanimous
Mhm.
pick, or you gonna disagree? Are we gonna have no agreements, no consensus on any matchup?
You know, both these teams going through some struggles here. Both of them are used to this playoff environment. Both of them good playoff experience. It is just one that is so damn close, and it is just so tricky to just go back and pick one of these. It is. And I think given the fact that I had the Rams going to the Super Bowl, I really just don't want to back down from it too much in this case. Like with the Bills, the coaching momentum has definitely played. It definitely become a
Yeah.
new variable this last week. But in this case, I want to stick with I'm just gonna stick with the Rams. Honestly, I hate to not make it our first consensus. But like I said, I think it's going to be in Tampa, so it's going to be an advantage in the Bucks' favor. But I just really want to ride out what the Rams got. I mean, they played really well against Arizona. Granted, a weak team, they got home field advantage, but they got Sean McVay. They built a good offense with Stafford. Their defense was playing out of their minds against against a team who's built on their offense basically and with Arizona, built on Kyler Murray. So no Godwin, no Antonio Brown, less plays to run. I mean, the Bucks will still put up a fight for sure. But yeah, I'll stick with the Rams on this one.
All right. And then on the other side, we got well, I mean that was it, but yeah, so I mean those are the predictions. So, interesting, some more football. If you could tell by the way I've spoken today, I've been very sad about football. Um,
I've
and
been sad about football for the last 3 years, so don't worry.
oh, I remember being sad about football for a season. That's what made the way that we lost all the more frustrating. It was 2 years in the making, and to
Yeah,
go like that. But anyways, moving on. Uh, we got a bit of a funny thing in hockey. It happened, and I'll explain what made it funny. Um, so as you know, the Oilers, they are in a big struggle, um, and a hockey Hall of Fame writer decided to be a pretentious asshole, and he asked Leon Draisaitl, what's going on with the team? And like, what would you like to improve? Draisaitl's like everything. He's like, care to elaborate? Draisaitl, he doesn't want to. He's like, you know everything. You're the writers. You say it. You can say. He's like, why are you so pissy? I mean, how do you have the audacity to just like start attacking your players for no reason? And not like you know the management or the coaching that are causing problems. No, let's just go after the star one, not the because McDavid. Let's go after who might be the star player on almost every other team, Leon Draisaitl, man. Like, I just find that whole thing like funny. It's insane how like entitled this writer happens to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get being upset at Draisaitl's answer, but yeah, like you said, Salt, going after him, I mean, you could say Draisaitl should just be a little bit more upstanding as one of the leaders of that team, but ultimately,
He gave a valid answer.
you gotta. Yeah, I mean, he gave a valid answer. He gave a valid, albeit I would say a little bit. What's the word? I don't know. A little bit snappy. I would say. I don't know, a little bit sassy. I felt a little. It felt a little bit of a sassy answer, but I mean, you still, you gotta know who to look for in this situation, or you gotta know who to ask those questions to, and especially for a Hall of Fame writer. I mean, that's just like basics 101. You gotta know your audience.
Yeah.
It was pretty goofy. I mean, honestly, I could see faults on both parts, but yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And you know what? It comes right at a perfect time that this story breaks, and how just because considering Edmonton is just at the bottom of the barrel, they have not won a game in the year 2022.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's January 21st.
It's January 21st. I mean, they've got they can't play defense. They can't. No one can goaltend. I mean, they can shoot. I mean, they can score all they want, but I mean, the other teams are just going to score as much as they do. So that's just how it is. They're out of a playoff spot right now. They're just kind of right now they're just kind of in the thick of the West right now. I mean, Vancouver passed them in points, which, you know what? Vancouver's actually been playing decent hockey ever since they made the changes that they did.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a lot better with Green as their coach. And yeah, I mean, pretty wild. How is it going for the Preds?
Well, I mean, the Preds were riding high. I mean, we kind of picked up right where we left off before the first COVID break. Won a good handful of games, but I don't know. We did lose we lost back to back this beginning of the week. I know against St. Louis, against Vancouver. The St. Louis one was super painful because we were up, I think 3-1. Not very good look there, but it's still pretty. I mean, we're still in the playoff hunt. I mean, right now we lost our first place position in the Central because Colorado is going on a tear. They've won 9 of their last 10, and I can't say it's not very. I can't say it's not very shocking considering last season they did almost the exact same thing. But now we're coming up. We got a pretty weak rest of the month ahead of us. Seattle, Edmonton, and Vancouver. All of them very spaced out, so we got player time to rest. Other than that, nothing really big in Nashville. I guess one big thing to just discuss about hockey in general is the way the rescheduling changed for February and how they're going to play games through the Olympics.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. But that has to suck. But I mean, hey, there's too many makeup games right now, and they still want to get the season over with at the end of April. Understandable, but just kind of sucks right now because I mean, they almost had it worked out for them, but COVID keeps biting them.
Yeah.
Right here.
As for with the Blackhawks, news came out that it looks like the team is in sell mode. Everyone is untouchable according to the original report, with the exception of Taze, Kane, and Seth Jones. It seems more like guys that I don't think other teams want to touch because of the contracts. But then a subsequent report came out. I think it was from Fridge. That it seemed like the initial report admitted there was something that was a little different. I think from Sir Volley's original report. This report said that do not expect Alex DeBrincat to be for trade either. So there's an initial outcry from the fan base, understandably so, wondering if this team would actually do something as stupid as to trade DeBrincat, but it looks like the Hawks are intent on keeping him around, which is a good thing. I guess we can go to the NBA for a little bit. Just want to talk about a big night from a big center. No, not Joel Embiid's 50-point game. Actually, I want to talk about Nikola Jokic's masterclass. Because this man took over an entire half of basketball and showed up on every possession. And I just got to say, man, Jokic is, amazing. I think at this point, he's the best player in the world. This is coming from a big Giannis fan. He's just absolutely dominant. Anything you need on offense, he gives it to you. And he's improved a lot as a defender this year as well.
He is by far one of the most special big, if not the most special big we'll ever watch in our lifetime. There is no big man, no center, let alone no big man who can make like him, score like him, rebound he's the total package, the complete and total package. With average defense, this guy's a perennial MVP candidate. With average defense.
And it's been improving.
With mediocre defense.
No, and it's been improving. Defense. I would call it outright good defense this year.
Even. Yeah, now, I'd say now it's solidly plus, yeah.
Yeah, it's just insane how good he's been. Speaking of a player that's just risen in the ranks and they're standing throughout the league, throughout the league, Link, if you want to talk, take it away with Ja Morant.
Oh man, dude, it's so it feels like the injury that he had this past November it feels like 2 years ago with the way he just plays. It's so refreshing to see just such a. I can't really put words into it, but man, I'm so glad that number 2 pick fell to us and we didn't take Zion, because man, we got ourselves a really good ball player for it. Definitely think so. I mean, he's only had one game this season, or this, I guess, not season, but this 2022 year of scoring less than 20 points. I think that was the Lakers game. I forgot. But no, he's been on fire. Absolutely, he had a double-double. I think it was the past game, or was it the game against the Bulls where he had that double-double? I forgot, but anyway, he's just playing generational basketball. It's so refreshing to see such a superstar play in Memphis.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies, too, outside of Morant, have just built such a really deep squad, and they did a really good job in that trade with New Orleans, getting Steven Adams and moving up in the draft a bit. And even you look at the depth moves they made over the last few years. Obviously they still got some guys left over like Jaren Jackson Jr., but drafting Desmond Bane in the back half of the first round in the COVID draft. Moves like this, that's what kind of that's what moves the chess pieces forward in Memphis. Top 4 team in the West, I believe, right now. Maybe better. I honestly don't know. They're definitely shaping up to be potentially a big playoff team. So we're excited we'll be excited to watch along with you. Now the Bulls and Grizzlies are good at the same time. It feels like a fever dream, but it is very real and very exciting.
Yeah, it feels like a fever dream just overall. My teams over the last 365 days have been all good, and it's the weird. I've never felt. I think the last time I felt like this was I can't even think. I was gonna say something like 2011, but the Titans stunk that year, so it didn't matter because that was during the Jake Locker experience. I could say 2017, but the Braves really haven't finished the rebuild yet, and the Grizzlies I think they were still in the 7th or 8th slot. They were not, getting pretty old and really haven't did their rebuild yet. I can't really remember a time in my life where all 4 of my teams were really good.
Yeah, it's
yeah. I can't think of one for me.
Crazy for me. The one team that's stinking it up right now is the Blackhawks. That's not what I'd be expecting.
My lord.
Yeah, but it's it must be great watching a guy like John Moran. I remember when people were saying like the Bulls should make an aggressive trade up to get him. Honestly, I wish we did, but it's working out fine for us where we are now.
Yeah.
You'll see that instant he got into in the Pistons game.
No, I did not.
Man, that was funny. He was about to throw hands. It wasn't Pittsburgh. It was some game this week. I forgot.
I saw that time. Did you see? Like, I think it was at the Lakers game. He like stared down some kids or something.
Yes. No, it was the Warriors
Oh
game.
yeah.
The Warriors game. Oh,
Because there was kids with even though it was a home Grizzlies game, there was kids with like Warriors jerseys. Funny enough, they did a promotion after the game that if you traded in, like kids could trade in their jerseys and like trade them in for a Morant jersey or a Jackson Jr. jersey. Which you know what, that's a pretty cool promotion. The downside, and also you could win tickets to the game, or not, or like get free tickets. So that was pretty cool promotion. I guess like the downside of it was like, of course the Jackson and Morant jerseys were like pretty poor quality. You know what? No one, if I were a parent and I gave my kids like some hardwood classics, like really nice jersey, and then they traded him for like something like that, would be happy. But other than that, you know what? Whatever. I'm just happy the Grizzlies are good.
yeah. Steven, you got anything to say about the Bulls? Really, I'll let you take that away if you want to.
I'll say a few brief words because it's been a little while since we've checked in on them. Going through a bit of a rough skid, but they've had a really bad COVID outbreak, some really bad injury issues. Alonzo's out for 2 months. Derek Jones Jr. is out for about a month. Javonte Green, I think his timetable is probably progressing more quickly than we think. I mean, he's probably
Levine
come
is
back
gonna miss
a week or two.
weeks, I think.
Is he gonna miss a couple weeks?
It might be a little more. I don't know. I don't know how long Levine is out.
I didn't hear if he was missing a couple weeks or not. I know they said they didn't think he was missing for a long time. I'm not sure with him. But they're still the best team I think they're still top in the Eastern Conference.
We're second now.
Still second in the Eastern Conference with all their injury issues. I mean, they rocked the lineup against the Bucks team that was really healthy. And keep in mind, this is the Bucks. They have not been at this healthy in a long time. They weren't even as healthy when they won the championship. Yeah, on the road especially, we rocked Kobe White, Io, guard duo, and then Tyler Cook at the 4, and then DeRozan and Vooch, kind of the big guys. And they kept it really close. It was really a 4-point game, and honestly, it was just decided that those final 30 seconds. They're still treading water. They got a few not really easy matchups, but they got the Magic and the Thunder up next. So just maintain, just play your hardest, get some more wins in the column, and just keep it moving until you get to the trade deadline or until these guys start coming back. I'm not too concerned. This is still a very good basketball team. I'm fingers crossed they all get healthy in time. It's a lofty wish, but this team's just really talented, and honestly, we've gone too far to get too concerned into it now or succumb to the trolling too much.
Yeah, dude, it's so sad that Patrick Williams isn't here for a moment like this when a lot of his teammates are out to really step up, because this is a moment where you couldn't imagine. This is a moment you could imagine him stepping up, but
I know. I do also want to. Now that we talk about the Bulls for a second, I do also want to give my position on the Nikola Vucevic discourse. It's been pervasive. It's been turbulent. It's been all over the place. Really, there are people who love the guy, people who hate the guy. You said it best, Saul. You said everyone either loves him, or everyone either despises him. Obviously, probably see more people who despise him. And granted, he can be a frustrating player to watch. His 3-point shots is kind of iffy. And he's just, I don't know. He's not a guy who's going to be shooting he's going to be shooting high percentages everywhere from the floor. But overall, he's kind of he's I don't want to say the anchor, but he's definitely a really good supporting character in this offense that was top 5 when fully healthy. I don't think they'd be in the position they are if they had a weaker center starting over him. I don't think they'd be in this position if they had Wendell Carter Jr. starting right now over him. And granted, I'll miss those 2 first-round picks for sure. Was the lofty, was it a hefty package for the guy for sure? But he's been a productive player, a good player in this offense. he's aging, sure, but he's still a productive player, and we still got to keep in mind that he's been a very good center his last few years, even before that career shooting year last year and scoring year. So I'm not too concerned. I'm just, like I said, you're kind of approaching the point to where most samples for starting guys are kind of set in stone. You're going to be seeing some shifts here and there, but I'm not expecting anything too drastic from Vooch. I think honestly, if he just maintains what he's doing now, as these guys start coming back, or as the Bulls start building around the offense a little bit more, he's definitely a guy you can make a solid playoff run with. And we're not asking to win the championship. We're just we're just seeing how far we can get and playing our best. And I like Vucevic for that. No complaints from my end on him. No strong complaints.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, pretty interesting just year, and I mean, I guess that'd be it for what we got today. This is
Well, I think. Oh wait, yeah. Let me get back into things because it's almost time for NASCAR to come back, and I can at least give a few thoughts about that.
sure.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. So NASCAR is January 22nd. NASCAR is almost on the verge of coming back. It comes back during the clash of Super Bowl weekend in the LA Coliseum. There's a lot of hype around it. It's supposed to be a big media event. They're gonna have big musical acts there. Ice Cube's gonna be there apparently as a big musical act. If you know Ice Cube, that's he's the most music player ever. No, but anyway, Chili Bowl was this weekend. It was a really entertaining race. Christopher Bell almost won it. A lot of scary wrecks. Chase Elliott took a really bad wreck, but other than that, the Chili Bowl was very entertaining. I forgot who won it though. I'm sorry. I know I should know this, but really on the march to Daytona 500. Apparently, the money team is alive again. That's Floyd Mayweather's racing team that was rumored to race in I think it was 2019 when they were supposed to make their Cup debut, but apparently they're trying to make their debut this year, the new car and all that. Other than that, a couple other big factors. I don't think I talked about this because I haven't talked about NASCAR since November. Mars Corporation is leaving Joe Gibbs Racing and the 18 team of Kyle Busch. This has already sparked a lot of rumors and theories about Kyle Busch potentially leaving Joe Gibbs Racing after 2022 to potentially start his own Cup team. I mean, he does have his own energy drink that would be backed as the sponsorship, so I don't know about that. I think the last thing I want to I think the one more thing to really talk about is Daniel Hemrick is getting a Daytona 500 shot at Colleague. Good for him. I mean, he was the Xfinity Series champion and really it was a crazy race, but good for him. I'm glad he's getting a Cup Series opportunity again. Anyway, that's it.
All right. So yeah, this is a good recording. Even though I sounded very sad discussing football because I am. So yeah, I'll see you guys around. This was good.
A lot of fun.
A lot of
Yes,
fun.
thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day,
Dude,
night, whatever.
I'm not